Yeah, the intro's so funky, you know.
Love it.
I
Just
like
gonna
it.
want
It's a
to
little
just jam
long.
in on it.
I think it's a little long.
I'm a jam head though. I think 20 minutes is about a good set.
What are you like hanging out with Fish and the Grateful Dead?
All day
20
long,
minutes
baby.
is a short song.
20, yeah, that's an intro.
Yeah, that's just getting warmed up.
Just getting
man.
warmed up, man.
Getting warmed up. God,
Set
I
one.
miss those
Set
shows.
one.
I miss those shows so much.
They are so goddamn expensive now.
I can't even imagine.
Oh, if you want to go see Dave Matthews, it's going to be like a cool grand. I mean, for a 3-day
good thing
event.
I don't want to go see Dave Matthews.
I know.
For me, Dave Matthews is the Bruce Springsteen of his era in that genre. You know what I mean? He's just kind of he's good.
He's good.
I mean, and I think highly overrated, but I like him. You know, I'm not against him. I've seen him. You know,
I've been kind of kicking the can back and forth on whether I want to go see Dead and Company. They've been getting a lot better with John Mayer, but I still remember John Mayer of the '90s, and it's just sometimes it's kind of hard to pull that.
The body
image.
is a wonderland. That's what I start thinking of. Like, oh crap, you know, make my trip even worse. Welcome to the Old Stoney's podcast.
Hey guys,
Justin McDonald here.
Matt Criscione. As always,
we thank everybody who's been watching and listening. You know, it's not a lot, but we're still going.
We're building.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite what we used to have. Come on, let's be honest. A couple years ago, before we took our big long break and everything,
we were rolling, dude.
We were rocking and rolling. We were having a good time. But, you know, then we had to go do other things. And here we are, though, again.
Life happens.
We're back.
We're back.
But back to the Dead and Company. Just because we don't have a guest today, so we're going to talk a little bit about this.
Talk about stuff.
I remember going to the early Dead shows, you know, in the 90s.
Yep.
And just cruising along and funding my way through, pushing weight since 88.
That's right.
Funding my way through, though, and having such a great time and just never having a care in the world and no responsibilities.
Where were your first shows at?
The first actual Dead show that I saw was at Autzen.
Nice, me too.
Yeah, because I lived in Gig Harbor, Washington.
Okay.
So it was close by. You never really saw it. When I was a kid, I saw lots of great bands, like Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. My mom would take me to all these shows, America, you know, all these great shows that came to Alaska when I lived as a little kid there. We saw some early good shows.
Nice.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band just sticks out big time.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Awesome. And, you know, like, you know, what's his name? John Ford Coley. And there was just a bunch of great bands.
So,
but I didn't see the Dead until I was in my late teens.
So you're talking like 93, 92?
No, I was almost 20.
Okay, so that would have been like 95.
Yeah, a friend of mine.
That's pretty close to the end.
Yeah, a friend of mine who I fortunately know, is a good friend. I haven't talked to him in a little while, though. It's probably been a year or two since we chatted. But Jerry Hart, who is Mickey Hart's brother.
No shit.
Man,
you know people.
He wrote a great book, too, about his dad and how his dad scammed the band and all this. You know, that's part of the falling out of the family, but they all came back around. But
right, part of where he's gone. Yeah, that was kind of the theme behind that song.
Jerry Hart, great radio guy. You know, we met in the radio business. He was always, you know, he's a few years older than I am, and kind of a good guy to look up to. You know, where at that time I was like, man, I really want to have his gig and do his job. And we just happened to meet on a trip to San Francisco with another friend of ours. And it was you know, we had a good connection, you know.
Yeah.
We stayed in touch here and there, and just good times. But I always liked hearing the stories, and then I got, you know, to check the book. But I didn't get to see, like I said, the Dead but I had tickets to the last show that never happened.
Yeah. Yep. I was at the last show that did happen. So, or at least when they were in Portland Meadows. And I mean, dude, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah,
a lot of live music back in the 90s was kind of rough for them.
I believe the show was going to be at the Seattle Memorial Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember because let me just say, like 91 to 93 is pretty much a blur to me. I know that sounds sad, but I was working like flashes. Overnights at a radio station. I was running the record store. You know, I was driving,
baby. Can't burn that candle at both ends.
A myriad of girlfriends in between, and I'm just like all over the place. You know, that at that point in my life, I was just all over the place.
Right.
It wasn't until like 95, after the music died, if you will, that I said, I'm getting the hell out of here and I'm going to the Great Land.
One of my first times ever seeing a new band, I was at Southern Oregon State College down in Ashland before it became a university. And it was 1990. or was it 91? I can't remember, but I got to see a little band called Fish.
Oh, the little band.
It was the first time they were ever on the West Coast of.
We sound so old.
I know, dude.
It's okay.
It was amazing, though. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Totally turned my life around. I have a buddy of mine that was, we were at the show together, and we're still in contact. I was going through a bunch of crap in my office, and I came across a couple of band posters from Fish back from 1997. And I got a hold of my buddy, and just out of the blue, I'm like, hey, dude, do you want one of these? He just started losing it. He's in the music industry, kind of works with Fish and does some other concert promotions and stuff like that. But I popped that poster out to him, and it just totally made his day, which was cool. That was my cool story for the week. I heard you went on a little trip, man.
Yeah, we went on a little jaunt.
I
had never been to the Windy City.
Really?
I mean,
the Dead just played there this weekend. You didn't go see him, did you?
No, but I saw the remnants of them there.
The Wooks.
Yeah.
The Wookiees. Totally. The total Wookiees walking around.
I was in Millennium Park.
Oh, my God.
Like Saturday, or, we've made a couple trips into town.
You don't want to get the Wookiee flu, dude.
We were walking around. Let me tell you, this is like one of the cleanest cities I've been in.
Really?
Excuse me. In a long time.
Nice.
I mean, after comparing it to where I'm at on a daily basis,
yeah,
this place was immaculate.
Wow. And if you listen to Fox News, everyone's shooting each other every day. And
probably in some neighborhoods, but I mean, and everywhere we went, like, the tourist stuff and just seeing like the parks with the big long greenery and everything. There was nobody camped anywhere. You didn't see no homeless people. I didn't see any of that. I'm sure they have their issues in their place.
Oh, they do. Every major city does.
But you don't see it. The parkway's coming in and out of town, green, lush. Nobody's garbage and shit laying around and all that stuff. I don't know how they deal with the issues there. Whatever they're doing, it seems to be working.
Let's hope it's humane. That's all we ask.
Probably is on the borderline.
It
is Chicago. It has not got a good reputation for internal affairs.
No, or like non-corrupt government. But
what I wanted to say is, excuse me, I went to several dispensaries.
I was going to ask. My first question always is, how is the weed? First place you ever go to, how was the weed?
I was on Instagram, and I was checking who I follow every now and then. At Cameron Forney, of course.
Oh, yep.
Flying into Chicago today, checking out all this stuff. And I was like, hey, I beat you to it. I'm here. There's Cubs White Sox tonight at Comiskey. You might not want to miss it. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it points out the direction of where Curaleaf is.
Nice.
And then there's a couple other dispensaries we just went and checked out. I didn't really purchase anything. I wanted to see the quality. We're gonna pick up the game.
It's early in the game.
Our
flower quality was definitely there from day one, but some of our edible products,
a lot of cartridges, things like that. I saw a lot of Select products.
Awesome.
And so that was comforting to see. But just going and seeing the service and the style and the size, and then some just. Wow.
There's a huge difference of when you walk into a dispensary that's been open for 6 years. And has been training their people, and the knowledge base is up there. And then when you walk into a dispensary, it's got all brand new bud tenders, and you guys are all on the same page. You really, when you walk into a dispensary, you really are trusting that bud tender's expertise, because quite frankly, the customers buy what the bud tenders tell them to get. And that's where I go with my manufacturers, samples, guys. You need to get more samples out.
Service was good everywhere.
That's good.
There was no complaints for me on service.
Were they knowledgeable, or are they trying to sell you a bunch of bullshit?
Full disclosure, there was some knowledgeable folks in a couple of the places. Curaleaf was really good.
Of course.
They had smart folks and good displays and all that good stuff, and it was really good to see. But, I wasn't really there in a professional capacity as far as, critiquing every movement. I just wanted to see what I would get.
Yeah.
They don't call it the Midwest for nothing. They should call it the Mids West is what they should call it.
Mids.
But I'm glad it's there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Because, we made a few trips to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
To Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You forget where you are. I personally forget where I am when I travel, because I never get hassled anymore.
Nope.
It's
not just the United States. There's green United States, and there's the other United States.
I don't worry about where I go now and what I'm bring. I just full disclosure, are you okay there, old Stoney? Yeah, I'm doing the same
I think
thing.
I went down my wrong pipe here.
And so we went to visit some folks in Kenosha. Cool town. Let me tell you, you got it going on, Wisconsin.
Never
we
been.
dig Wisconsin.
Got to go to
Totally
Wisconsin.
digging it. And so we go visit. We check out some stuff. I did a little research before we went up there and checked out diners, drive-ins, and dives. I don't use that as the gauge of I'm going to find something awesome, but I'm using that as a gauge of it's somebody's been there and it possibly could be really good.
Right.
So
and you find some gems in these, small
Frank's
little
Diner,
greasy spoons.
Frank's Diner, Kenosha. Mwah. It's the best breakfast I've had in so long.
Oh God.
Homemade corned beef hash.
Wow.
I mean, it just fantastic though. Everything was just fantastic.
Nice.
Lake Michigan's right there. It's beautiful. It's like the biggest lake. You don't think it's a lake. It's just pretty cool. But nice town. But after breakfast, kicking it in downtown Kenosha, right by the water, we're having a conversation with this guy, and I just kind of reached in my pocket and lit up a J, and just was sitting there chatting. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
He's just wide-eyed. What are you doing?
And I'm just like, he's "You're in Kenosha, Wisconsin, bro." I was like, "Oh shit!" On my shoe.
I mean, just like and
yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Put it on my shoe. Put it away. And I'm like, "Oh man, I totally forgot." I apologize, Wisconsin. I do.
Yeah. If you want to be respectful,
Hightailed it back to Illinois before we consumed any more products. But I felt bad. I was like, "Oh man, I hope I didn't freak out because he's from Kenosha." So I was like, I hope we didn't freak anybody out.
He's probably got helicopters parked on top of his roof now, just like, what you doing?
Yeah. But, chit-chatting back to the dispensary part of the trip, since, again, we don't have a guest today.
That's okay.
That's all right.
You and I talk. We chit-chat.
We got some good stories. But just the overall quality, everything, I liked the way everything flowed. Like,
right.
As I walked into the dispensary, and check my ID and around the corners and check out the products and do this and do that.
Super fancy in there? Was it all nice?
Some of it was pretty super duper fancy.
Yeah.
It was a little bougie. I liked it. And I'm sure a lot of people don't even care.
No, I tend to think you tend to pay for that kind of experience, but that's okay. It's okay.
Prices, decent. You're not going to, I didn't see any $5 oil deals like you do when you drive through some of these local Oregon dispensaries in small towns.
Yep.
They don't tell you it's black oil or whatever. But
I was going to say, when back in the early days, most of our oil looked like that thermos or your phone. It's just black oil, just black
pure black.
Oil. Yeah.
And, so it was one of those experiences where, it was good, but you really wonder which direction the industry is going to go in places like Illinois. And, you got other states coming online pretty quick. What do we have? 17 states now that are fully recreationally legal. 17. Yep. That's a lot.
I tell you, the one state I'm always keeping an eye on is Texas. I'm just waiting, and everyone tells me, "Oh, you're fucking crazy. No one's ever going to legalize weed in Texas." And I'm like, guys, Texas has Republicans, and they go like, "Yeah, that's exactly why." And I'm like, "No,
they like
Republicans love money.
Yeah, they like money.
And when you guys take a look at how they make it, they'll take their morals and their values and kind of throw them out the window for a buck." It's not the greatest way to go about it, but if that's what motivates them and that's what's going to enact change, fine, fuck it, man. Go make your money.
So if anything, Texas, all right? If anything, if they're not for money, they're for freedom.
Yeah.
So the freedom to be able to grow your own, roll your own, and be your own.
Start your own business. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Remember the bootstraps?
All that shit that they preach.
You guys love the bootstraps.
If you keep keeping the weed down, you're just a bunch of hypocrites.
Pretty much.
That's why Hank Williams Jr. gets kicked around by the country folks, because he rolls weed and drinks and makes his own liquor.
Right.
Roll my own smoke,
It's a guaranteed pullover every time you see the Willie Nelson bus. Oh shit, I'm a little low on my quota. Let's just pull over Willie.
Yeah, exactly. But I just see that as the states keep growing and growing, and we get these banking issues solved. The banking issues are the big thing.
We really need to, before we legalize any more states, let's figure this banking thing out, make a big push on that. Focus. Focus.
Yeah. And that seems to be the big trend. We're going to have some other of our podcast brethren on this show here in the next couple months. The Talking Hedge and a few other guys.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying to get these guys to come on and chit chat a little bit, do a little roundtable on some of the regulations and rules that there's things happening in Congress too that nobody's talking about because of everything else going on in Afghanistan and all these things. These are all diversions, of course, and things happening in the world that
sleight of hand, man. You don't look
COVID-19,
over
of
here and
course, even COVID, all of it. We try to pay attention and keep track of what's actually happening in the industry
right.
to know. And the banking thing is huge. And once the federal thing takes place, these guys are going to make more money than
We're off and
ever
running.
thought.
We're off and running.
Just
a few of these companies that bit the bullet and maybe took a loss are doing pretty damn well right now.
Yeah.
And I know, a lot of bigwigs are starting to invest in cannabis. We have some congressmen that were very much against cannabis that are now balls deep into investing in it. And it's just, it's a whole 180. And I think we're just kind of slowly building momentum with this.
And cannabis aside, also you got the hemp industry.
Yeah.
The hemp industry is exploding in places like Kentucky and a few others. I've talked to some individuals there who work in that industry, the hemp side, making products from hemp, basically. Yep. Man, he said that they can't keep up with demand, and hempcrete is, I don't know if you've been watching the stock markets in places like Australia, New Zealand, down that way. They have some huge investments there.
Oh yeah,
in hempcrete.
I know that North Korea grows probably the most hemp out of anyone in the entire world. I'm not kidding you.
North Korea?
I've always mentioned this, but
I knew it was legal there.
Well, it's not. It's not legal as per se. Like you can't just go out and grow your own hemp farm. Kim Jong-un or whatever.
Journalists have written about how cannabis is traded openly in markets.
Oh, I'll have to read into that. I always thought it was like no fun, just the hemp part of it. Not saying that CBD isn't fun, but
yeah, CBD works. I use it on a daily basis.
I do too.
I've been actually using collagen too, and a few other things. But before we get into that, though, I just want to finish up on Illinois. I just got to say it was a great experience all the way around.
Good deal.
Good city, good everything. Made the pilgrimage to Wrigley Field.
Good deal.
We were going to have a little slideshow, but I'm just technically inept lately. Everything I touch just fucks up and doesn't work.
That's why I don't even try that.
I'm tired of touching stuff because it just fucking breaks.
Oh, hey, I got to see Scottie Pippen this week.
You got to see Scottie Pippen?
I got to see Scottie Pippen this week. I looked up our friends from Funk. You guys ever on Instagram? Puff Princess. It was Puff Princess 420. Don't quote me on that, but she has yeah, you do that. She has a great Instagram, but she had mentioned that Funk is, and they're going to be on here in a couple weeks. They're going to be. They were down at the Cookies dispensary, and I had a chance to talk with the manager down there. I think we're going to get a show together with them as well.
Oh, nice!
But I found out that our buddies at Doghouse are growing their weed.
You didn't know that?
I knew that, but I was just kind of...
Little birdie told me that.
I was just always blown away by that because when they first came in, I was like, cookies, it's not going to be that great. It's just, like when Willie Nelson came in here, they didn't really find a great farm to work with originally, and the stuff just didn't turn out that great.
Sorry, we don't blame...
Tough.
It's tough. It's tough. I get it.
Having a new strain come in and having someone push that on you, and then you got to adjust your room. Strain. Exactly.
But how holy do you live up to that?
Doghouse is just growing the shit out of their weed, man.
I think Cookies made the smart move when they decided to come
they
into the
ain't
States.
No dummies. I'm always a suspect of these large brands coming into our state, but I tell you what, they ain't no dummies.
Yeah, I have to say that.
But anyways, I digress. They were having a debut for Scottie Pippen's weed. I think they call it number 33 for his Chicago Bulls number. But it was really cool. I went down there with, I have a Blazer jersey.
Oh, yeah, because he played for the Blazers.
That was one of my favorite jerseys is my Scottie Pippen Blazer jersey. The minute I show up into that place, he ain't going to sign that. And he didn't, and I get it, and have to sign all that stuff. But it was really cool just to kind of stand there. I got to take my picture with him, chit-chat with him for just a little bit, because there's a lot of people in line. But
I'm sure.
It was cool, man. It was really cool.
Stoners come out, man.
I'm telling you. Well, with the NBA and the NFL, I think those two organizations, finally they have legalized to the point where they're not being tested for it. they're not encouraging their players to smoke weed, but they're not punishing them anymore. I believe, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's what's going on. Is they're just not testing for it anymore.
Yeah,
they just forget about
it.
So that's good.
But they still don't want to have like a direct endorsement, which I get why Scottie Pippen didn't sign my NBA jersey.
Sure.
Because that on camera, that added in a dispensary, I'm sure that would cause a lot of problems. So I get it.
Okay, so he didn't sign your jersey.
I didn't get my jersey signed. He was signing like kids' casts and hats, and he was being very cool about it. I did get an autographed picture, which was dope. But I was really hoping to get that jersey
remember
signed.
We were like Comic-Con 2 years ago, and we ran into the Fonz.
Yep, I still have my picture of the Fonz. I love that photo.
Henry Winkler, the Fonz, and then we were there in a professional capacity, and we were walking around, and we ran into what's that one nut job? Kato Kalin. What the hell, man? This guy's famous for living with a dead person.
On his couch.
On the couch of a dead person. And, we kind of gave him the business a little bit. Me and Matt, I think we had just partaked before we entered, and we kind of gave the business. We're like, geez, we're almost bigger celebrities than you, and like giving him shit. So Kato Kalin, if you ever check us out, which you probably don't.
Come on the show. We'll get you caught.
Come on the show. Maybe we can, get you 30 extra viewers.
Pull up the cot and, 30 extra viewers.
So it's all good. Puff Princess, that's what you were looking for.
Yes.
All right. And then Funk Extracts.
Funk Extracts, they'll be on next week, and we're looking forward to it, man. Those guys are hella cool. I interviewed them when I was doing a show for Mike down at the Cannabis Club.
Oh.
And Ramsey's just, dude, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Good time. Well, we still got about 8 minutes, but I wanted to talk about a couple other things before. Just one more thing on Illinois.
Yeah.
Just one more thing. There was not a lot of dispensaries, though.
No, a lot of these places are running into that. Like surprised. New York, there's like 4 for the entire state or some bullshit.
Yeah, that was one thing. I looked up a few, and I was like, I saw a lot of billboards.
Yeah.
They were hard to find.
I know.
I mean, the billboards killed me because there was a lot of billboards.
If you guys ever come to Portland, strip clubs, coffee clubs, and weed shops, you will not have to look far.
Yeah, you won't have to
at all.
That's for sure.
Sometimes they're all in the same block.
But I couldn't get over the amount of billboards and advertising for such a little amount of shops.
Really?
I was just like, man, okay. I guess we're just used to seeing them here. And when you go to little towns, there's like one every 3 or 4 blocks or 5 blocks. They're all over the place.
It seems like all these different municipalities, you can advertise. You can have T-shirts. You can have T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, buy a T-shirt from
BudTenderT-shirts.com. BudTenderShirts.com.
Whatever. Don't listen to me.
Don't say BudTender T-shirts.
Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot.
BudTenderShirts.com.
I think my seltzer's trying to hit. So.
Oh, yeah. And I would like to thank John Tapper because he was on the show last week.
Yes, we had a great time. In fact, I went out and actually I do buy my own products too. So headed out to a dispensary and picked one of these bad boys.
We accidentally called him the owner.
I thought he was the owner.
And you worked there and you called him the owner. But John Tapper, the sales manager,
and he is a hell of a good sales manager. And that guy
in a good product.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, it's easy when you got a good product. But
cool guy to sit down with. He has his own whitewater rafting boat. They went out as a company, which I didn't get to go, but next year I will. They go out and do whitewater rafting out in Central Oregon. What a cool thing to do with your company. There's only like 4 or 5 people that work like consistently in the warehouse that they work out of, and then they'll hire friends and get them on for the time. But they take everybody out, go river rafting, do some fishing. I bet you'd be down with that.
Be something like Nike just did, That Nike had to make up for all the bad shit they do, and they gave their people wellness days off, and
that's nice.
And gave them every Friday off over the summer. Everybody had 3-day weekends and all that shit. I'm not sure about the crew overseas making shoes. I know everybody here got a break. Is that bad that I give Nike a hard time?
You can give them a hard time. They're making money. I think they'll live.
Yeah. I don't really. I wear Nikes, but I can't find Nikes Advance. But shifting gears as we get ready to round down the show. In the upcoming weeks, we have Funk Extracts is going to be here, like you said, the week after next.
Week after next, because next week
we have LB.
I'm so
excited.
LB's
Edibles.
Hovering's coming in too.
It's coming too. Nice. We're meeting pre-show since we cannot indulge in this fine studio.
Right. Well, maybe we'll have some cake balls and
maybe
some edibles. We can always do.
That's true.
Drinkables and edibles.
Drinkables and edibles. I think that's gonna have to happen. But we look forward to having those folks here in the next few weeks, and we're still doing an open casting call for guests. We're looking for more guests for the quick hit.
Absolutely.
We got about 6 so far. I need about 6 more. I got lots of feelers out, but it's time now to really up the game and get everybody on the list.
What's your Instagram again, so they can come reach out to you?
So the Instagram, for the quick hit, it's at CanadaCast420.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, at CanadaCast420. CanadaCast420.com actually houses the old Stonies and the quick hit from our old days. We just never got rid of the domain name.
It's a great domain.
We wanted to keep it. Keep it hanging out there. We don't actively, search for a network. We're affiliated with talkcastPDX, so we like to facilitate that relationship.
And thank you, talkcastPDX, for housing us.
Yeah. Also on Instagram, though, the old Stonies have their own Instagram as well. So follow that. You'll get to see the adventures of 2 old Stonies. Matt and I, of course, we try to post stuff to the story whenever we can.
Yep. Sometimes I even repost stuff to you that you posted. So
yeah, I was like,
I don't know how this technology works.
I pushed a button. It's not working. I swear to God.
So I have a 26-year-old kid. Tyler, figure this out.
Yeah. I always ask my 16-year-old, it's like, how do you do this? And he's like, Dad, it's easy. And he shows me once, and then he expects me, and I'm like,
I had to remind my son that he asked me one time what a typewriter was. So goes both ways.
Yeah, a typewriter. Okay. Well, I've taught my kids what a record player is, what a cassette deck is.
Nice.
That's back on people are buying cassettes.
I miss cassettes.
I have a whole huge giant tub full of cassettes. And actually, you can get a pretty good penny for some of them.
Right?
People want to buy them.
People want to buy them.
I don't know why.
I'm waiting for my CD collection to be worth something again.
I wear the fuck out of those things, man. I have tapes, and I'm just like, man, this thing's still alive. I'm like listening to. I have air checks from 1987.
Nice.
I'm just like this young 16-year-old kid just on the radio, and it's really funny when you listen back to those. I'm like, holy crap. I was really puking, trying to be it wasn't until
I'm going to be the next Howard Stern.
Well, once I got into my 20s, I learned that, you just talk regular.
Yeah,
what are you doing? You don't have to put on a show. Just be you, that's
you are the show, baby.
So the old Stonies, you want to check out all of our past episodes. You go to talkcastPDX.com. They have all kinds of great programs there, but just click on the old Stonies. You can't miss it. Just a big joint with the old Stonies on it. It's easy. And then all our past episodes are there for the length that we've been doing the show here.
Mm-hmm.
There are about 80 episodes floating out there.
There are. You can find them.
Check them out. You can
some are good, and some are not so great. But that's all right. They're entertaining.
Listen wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple, Spotify. It's out there. So check them out. I hate saying that though. I want them to go to the website.
Go to the website. I know.
Check it out. Check out the video at the website, YouTube channel. Good times. All right, that's going to do it. We're all done. You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm feeling really good, actually. This is starting to kick in. So
there you go. Next week, LV from LV's Edibles. We look forward to it. Make sure you do go to talkcastpdx.com and check out all the past episodes. Also, follow TalkcastPDX right on Instagram at TalkcastPDX. Also on Facebook, Twitter, and then check out the Twitch account, too.
The Twittersphere.
Getting twitchy.
The Twittersphere.
Yes, indeed.
I can't keep up with all this crap, but that's okay.
All right, I'm Justin McDonald.
And Matt Criscione.
Till next time, keep on smoking.